All right, welcome in everybody. We are about to get started. Welcome in. Got you Sauce, Air, Top Tetris Pro. Are you really the #1 Top Tetris Pro? Love it. Aquamarine, Nokino. And yeah, we have score attack matches starting shortly. We're gonna kick it off with the we're gonna play some all clear effect mode to kind of preview the upcoming weekend ritual. And yeah, let's hop right into it. I think we have a lot of people signed up here. So we'll be sure, try our best to get everyone in there. Get everyone with a match. Welcome in, Matt. Yes, happy Friday, Wabi. All right, so let's hop right into it. We're going to hop into some effect modes and preview the upcoming Focus Weekend Ritual. And there I am with my wonderful green screen action. But, okay. You know what I was just thinking before we started is I would love to change my music. I've been on this drum beat for ages now. What are we feeling, everybody? We were just listening to... I don't know if it's on here. Some of these like effect mode only soundtracks are kind of nice. Loops of Time, not to be confused with Loops of Mind within Luminous. We're going to Loops of Time. All right. So yeah, weekend ritual coming up tomorrow for 24 hours. Last week was Relax, which means next up should be our Focus ritual, which consists of All Clear, Combo, and Target. We're going to start off with All Clear here, and I'll keep this pretty short. We're going to hop into our score attack matches. If you haven't signed up already, head to our Discord at discord.gg/enhance. And it should say the event is live, but there's also a thread linked in our announcement channel. If you want to play, just do not be shy. All skill levels are encouraged to play, and it's a good time. It's a good way to get the limelight, hang out with the community without having to be too stressed out. There's a good balance here, I feel like. Okay. So as you can see, I haven't played All Clear in a while. Let's see if I remember the solves, and what I mean by that is pretty much to execute nicely in All Clear is knowing where to put the Tetramino within each little puzzle that kind of appears, right? So here we have 3 squares in our next queue. I wonder where I put this square. Maybe in the square hole. Do you put the square in the square hole? Let's try that. Simple enough, right? And if you mess up here, it will fail. Or miss, rather. So, okay, yeah. So if you don't clear a line, it will count as a miss, right? So it'll keep going until you clear lines, and ideally you clear the entire board is the goal. Entire matrix. So yeah, with our T Tetramino here, we're gonna slot it into the T Tetramino, I guess, shape here. So it's nice and satisfying with that all clear. Pretty easy to see with the, I guess, the ghost Tetramino in the middle of the matrix there with the white outline. You don't put the square in the square hole? I'd love to know your solve for that creative name. All right, new record, new PB. We got 5. We're going to up it a bit. And the further you progress in all clear mode, give me a rank D for that? Jeez, harsh. The further you progress in ranked all clear mode, the harder the puzzle becomes. So we'll see if we can get to some of the expert puzzles. I'll come in Coffee and Tetris. Okay. We'll move along here. Nice warm up. This is also just a good test of your, what we call finesse, right? Just the ability to get the Tetramino to where you want it to be in the least amount of inputs as possible. So it seems like, I mean, I am moving fairly quickly, right? But I'm doing so efficiently, just knowing, well, that was wrong. Knowing how to minimize my inputs in Tetris rather than like tapping all the time, right? You can like hold and rotate against the walls, stuff like that. Or even rotate from the center, depending on the animation of the Tetramino that's currently on the board. For example, the long bar or the I Tetramino, if I rotate left here, it actually gets to left of center faster. And if I were to rotate right, it gets to the right of center faster. So when you move right, you want to right rotate. When you move left, you want to left rotate the I Tetramino. Okay, let's keep going here. So now we're getting, I think there's more than one way to solve some of these. Is there more than one solve for this one? I think there is. So for example, you could do this. Wait, no, you can't do that. I can't use hold. I lied. Alright, we're out of time. Let's see if we can keep the time in. Oh. Alright, we're going up. We have to continually up our game here. Are we C? We're C ranked. No longer D rank. Moving up the totem pole here. Alright, let's move fast. Let's get to these late game puzzles. Yeah, kind of a last call for score attack matches. Head to the Discord, make sure you're signed up in the thread, because it seems like we have a lot of participants tonight, so don't be shy. All skill levels welcome. We'll try to match you with somebody of a similar skill level. This mode is very satisfying when you kind of get into your flow state. But yeah, just always remember you have to clear a line. So you could like, my brain wants to kind of tuck that Tetramino in there, but you have to clear a line, and that'll kind of with that mantra, it'll kind of help you solve some of these as well. Nope, there. For example, I wanted to put this here. My brain wanted to put it there, but we have to clear a line. So we'll go here in the middle first. What do we do here? I believe we messed it up last time. Yeah, because now we're not going to clear a line. I forgot to do there. Ooh, too fast. Oh no! This game messes with you. Alright, see if we can stay alive here. Race against time. Yeah, there's some tough ones. Ooh, A rank. Moving up, moving up. All right, we're going to hit that SS rank before we hop into score attack. I'm going to hold you hostage until I get an SS rank. Okay. Yeah, the other focus modes include combo and target. Combo is where I find my zen, just constantly hitting that satisfying combo. But all clear, you can find that zen as well. Same with target. I think target is probably the trickier one to master. There's a lot of skill set that's applied there. do with this one? So we have to clear, right? That's not right. Oh no. I do that every time. Oh, that's wrong. Ooh, the infamous, so this will teach you how to spin, or do some of these spin solves in the later puzzles. Okay, oh, check this out. I still got my long bar finesse there. You have to know your left and right rotate of the long bar to circumnavigate that puzzle. Oops. Eventually, I feel like I'm just holding soft drop now. Try to maximize all of these spins here. Falling into a trance with this ooh, messed up. This background. All right, we upped our game there. I think that should be an SS. Okay, there we go. So yeah, all clear is like, in a way, like when you're learning it, it could be a tutorial, because to really master it, you have to know how to utilize some of the spins, which I think we have a link here in our Twitch to like websites like 4.lol. I know has like some interesting spin guides. I think we even have some on TetrisEffect.game in our community guides. But yeah, if you ever need help on any of the all clear solves, if you're new to the game, our community is not shy when it comes to helping people. So head to our Discord at discord.gg/enhance, or just even ask us here in the chat if you're playing alongside us here. But let's hop into some score attack. So we're going to get our multiplayer lobbies started. Hope you all are prepared now. You all are ready to conquer the weekend ritual, of course. Okay. So, I think, let's see, Ferox, if you haven't already, let's let everyone know what their group is. I'm gonna get our lobby set up here. Okay. Let's have some good matches. And by the way, you all are welcome to suggest any custom rule sets with your opponent in the Discord as well, if you want to have fun with it. There's a lot of ways to mix up the score attack rule set in particular. Like, for example, you could disable T-spins, you could have no piece preview, stuff like that. Change scoring so combos are worth a lot. I do not see the pinned message here, Ferox and or Fairbot. If we want to put the blame on Fairbot here. Oh, I wonder if there might have been some changes with Discord here, messing with our system. Apparently cannot pin the message. Okay. Well, I think our first match should be Jabberbox versus... Or I'll go ahead and pin the message. Jabberbox and Rum. There we go. Oh, let me get the room code for you guys. All right, room code is in the Discord there. Hope y'all are ready for the weekend. I know I am. I'm gonna kick it off here with some Tetris Effect with all of you. Anyone playing any new games? I feel like there's been a lot of new game news recently. Of course, there's the wonderful Luminous Arise. If you haven't played it already, that's still my new game. But I know there's like a Pokemon thing today. So many new games coming out that are great. Okay, the Scribe of Technology has made it. So we're just looking for you, Jabberbox, when you're ready. Ferox is the final boss, yeah. Ferox is consistently high placing in score attack tournaments. Up there with the best of them. In our score attack tournaments, at least the TECWC 23 and 24, I believe Ferox was top 4 in both of those. And they were competitive matches. And it's been a while since we've hosted a big tournament, so Ferox might be ready to win at any moment that a score attack tournament appears. Although Siaka Gohan put up quite the show in the finale, trifecta finale. Not sure if Jabberbox is here. If not, we can maybe sub somebody in here. Ferox. What is active? Unable to T-spin past level 29. I think that's a fair roadblock. It takes a lot of practice. Welcome inside, Ark. Hope you're ready for the weekend, ready to play some Tetris here. Oh, that's Jabberbox in the lobby. Okay, sorry. Sometimes a lot of you like to change your Discord names here. So in that case, we need to find somebody to play against Jabberbox. Oh, technical issues. There we go. Okay, we're set up here. We are ready. Yeah, we're just going to do a first to one here, and we'll extend it if it's a short match. But score attack can last quite a while. So let's hop in it. So we have Kuiper Carbuncle on the left and Scribe of Technology on the right. Good luck, have fun. Let's kick off that score attack. Okay. Carbuncle rocking the colorblind Tetraminos. As you can see, they each have kind of a unique identifier pattern attached to it, so you can kind of, it'll help you differentiate the blocks. So both players with a little bit of burning early on here on this level 12 start. And the scribe here managed to find a left well, while Kyber Carbuncle has that right well ready for business with Tetrises on the right side. Jabberbox, aka Scribe, got a Tetris, but then had to kind of burn through some lines. Going to clean up. Probably will find themselves on this right side once again. We'll see where they end up here. Could go for a center well, but center well can be a little bit hard to maintain once gravity increases. They still have quite a while, so it's not going to increase until 100 lines in, if you're over level 10. I guess level 9 and above, right? It should increase by, if you start at level 9 and above, the gravity will increase once you clear 100 lines for your side only. But Carbuncle getting a pretty good lead. Hasn't really broken this back-to-back Tetris chain they have going on here. There we go. 2 more back-to-back Tetrises. See if Jabberbox can get a nice comeback going here. It is still quite early, and one thing to note, per usual with score attack, is that once the speed level increases, so does your score potential. So, for example, if we hit level 20, and Jabberbox gets back-to-back Tetrises at level 20, that'll be a huge way to get caught up here. Just because the Tetrises are worth so much less here on level 12. Oh, Inscription, like the, that's a great game. The card game. Or not even, how do you even explain that game? Actually, yes. For all they know, the card game. Okay. So Carbuncle did break that back-to-back. It's now on this center well. Going to be a little harder to maintain, but doing a good job. Also has this T-spin opening. Slot that T-piece right in there. And T-spin is the name of the game when it comes to score attack. It's going to be the most efficient line clear you can have. So if Carbuncle's scoring T-spins here and Jabberbox is not, they can try to push a lead, but it's just harder to maintain. So if you're going for T-spins and you're burning more often, it might not always be worth it. But so far, so good. That's a nice back-to-back T-spin. But here we go. Here's like 2 burns. You can afford some burns, right? And still be like on pace with just Tetris only, but gotta be careful. So they are tied pretty much on line count, and Carbuncle has an 80k lead that is certainly surmountable though for Jabberbox here, who has cleaned up, is Tetris ready. Has a long bar dependency here, and the gravity is ticking up now. There we go. Nice sequence from Jabberbox on the right side. Throwing those back-to-back Tetrises down. Might be able to get caught up that way, especially with kind of Carbuncle's board is getting a little messy, so we'll see what happens here. There also is a certain skill set once you advance in the game, right? So perhaps Scribe of Technology here, aka Jabberbox, is could be a little better. One of these players might be better at these higher levels, and we'll see how that pans out for the late game here. Welcome in, Grim Yoshi and Toad. We're doing great. We're playing some Tetris Effect. We just got started with our multiplayer matches. If you want to hop in, don't be shy. We may be getting... Our queue is getting pretty long, so if you want a chance to play, be sure to sign up sooner than later. And if not, we are running these generally bi-weekly is the goal. So in 2 weeks from now, we'll be running Classic Score Tag. Okay, so Carbuncle has continued to build that lead. I think these T-spins are paying off. And Jabberbox has found themselves in a little bit of a mess, but we'll see how each player manages survival on these later levels. Carbuncle isn't only surviving, but they're setting up these T-spins, so it's going to be pretty tough for Jabberbox to get caught up here. I like this move, though, going for this Tetris on Jabberbox side. Got to be a little greedy, even though you are halfway up your board. Well, now kind of at the top of your board. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I think that's a quote from Ferox. Alexei Pajitnov quote or something. The list is getting long. I can sit out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this you can definitely just sit back and watch, hang out with us. Not a problem either. And also, by the way, we're always getting new Tetris Effect players. If you're tuning in for the first time and all of this is very foreign to you, feel free to ask any questions about what is panning out on your screen here. Any Tetris strategies? There are some quite competent players here in the chat. So Carbuncle has built the lead, and both players are kind of plateauing here, just mostly clearing singles. If with that being said, if Jabberbox can manage to find some Tetrises in the midst of this, it can be really hard to score on the center well, right? So if I were Jabberbox, I would try to work towards a full left or full right well, or somewhere closer, so that the thing is, when you have your well in the middle, the Tetramino is going to instantly fall into that well, and it really limits your opportunity for scoring. With that being said, good survival from both players going into level 22. But generally, like, if you have a higher center, that allows you to kind of wiggle your piece to the left and right with that high gravity, right? Think of it as like a pyramid. You can kind of slide your Tetramino to the left or right of it if you have your high point in the very center of your board. Oh, this is a good opportunity for Jabberbox, but we keep finding ourselves in these center wheel situations. Pressure of high gravity, I suppose. But yeah, neither player has really pushed their lead, so they've been pretty even the last 3 to 4 levels, like post level 20 here. Although Carbuncle is going to top out, so it'd be that is one thing. So 20 to 24 isn't that much of an increase in speed. You really start to feel it at 25 plus. And 25 to 26 is more of a jump. 27 is quite the jump. 28 is where most, like a lot of high level players will feel it. And then of course 29 is like the Suedo. I don't want to say kill screen. I'll steal a term from the classic Tetris community. The skill screen, rather, where you got to really know what you're doing to survive past level 29. No Shen in the background. Oh, yeah. Maybe my good luck charm. That's unfortunate. Okay, yeah, good game. So next up should be, I believe, Pac-Man versus Nokino up next. Pac-Man and Nokino. You could reach the kill screen, nothing much higher though. Yeah, I think that goes for most players. It is very satisfying though if you can get some lines on those later levels. All right, so we got the Pac-Man in here. Glad you're able to find your way in this lobby quickly. And it's looking for Nokino if you're ready. I can play well enough and survive, but I cannot play fast. Play well enough and survive, just not fast. Interesting. I guess there's like survival versus scoring too, right? Clearing singles on those later levels isn't quite as challenging, but if you're trying to really push yourself for a score, it can be harder for that to click with speed as well. Go Noki. Still looking for Noki. We got a question mark in Discord. Nokino, you're up to play. Whenever I plan to go 25 plus, I genuinely have to slow down my gameplay brain so I can pay attention. Yeah, there's different skills being applied there, right? Because you have your brain wanting to go for Tetrises, and you have part of your brain trying to simply survive, right? And there's a different type of mechanical need there. Whether it's like quickly moving your pieces, like you can kind of wiggle the Tetramino so it doesn't lock in right away if you want to try to avoid that lock delay, or take advantage of the lock delay, which means like, say you have 2 seconds until it locks in on level whatever, and then on the later level it takes 1 second, right? So with that 1 second, sometimes you need to just simply like spam rotate the pieces, keep moving it until you make that decision. It gets harder, of course, in those later levels, but Big Chungus loves my setup. Thank you. You like my where are they? Like my little camels down here? Particle camels in space. Oh, let's head to space. Oh yeah. Take a look out for that rover. Lock delay kills me every time after 26. Yeah, don't be afraid to, if you can't process it, which a lot of players can't, they just know how to take advantage of that lock delay, right? Just like spamming pieces, moving your blocks left and right. At least until it can almost be seen as a bad habit sometimes, but if you survive and score more, well, is it really that bad of a habit? Okay, looks like we're getting started here. Pac-Man on the left with our classic standard colors here. But yeah, if you ever want to change your Tetramino skin, just head to options, gameplay options, and you should be able to change it from customized to traditional. And if you keep scrolling to the right, there will be colorblind settings as well with some different skin types. But Pac-Man claiming they have been upping their game here. Said he had a new classic score attack PB recently. And he's been attending just about all of our showcases. We did have a bit of a hiatus for full all-in hands on deck for the Luminous Arise launch, but yeah, Pac-Man was pretty active before then as well, and I just love seeing people improve over time, week by week here. It's kind of a slow burn, right? You don't always notice it in a weekly basis, but I'm sure if we go back and look at Pac-Man's gameplay from when they first started playing our community showcases, it's like probably ×2 in terms of speed now, right? Nokino with a very clean stack here on the right. Going for some back-to-back Tetrises. Pac-Man finding themselves in the center here. Going for some center wall Tetrises, okay. Ooh, kind of a rough misdrop there. But we'll see if Pac-Man can clean this up nice and quick here. Yeah, when it comes to signing up, generally early bird gets the worm. So whenever you see that ping on the Fridays, just be sure to get in there and let us know you want to play. In the past, I've been too nice, and then I'd be here for 3 hours of score attack. Which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but yeah, by the way, I mean, we have a lot of people here trying to play score attack. If you guys want a scrimmage on the side, set up some friend matches, or hop in ranked while you're waiting for your game, just try to be ready. If you see the pinned message in Discord, you should have an idea of when you're up next, because we generally go from newer players into our veteran players. For example, I know Pac-Man usually likes to set up games after their live stream match if you're still looking for some matches. I know it's score tech in particular, it can sometimes be tougher than a zone battle or classic to find a ranked match, so you guys always, it would be a good place to hang out if you're not too worried about your rating kind of thing, or don't have that ladder anxiety if you're looking for some matches. If you get 100 score attack wins, you get the horse avatar, one of my favorites. All right, Pac-Man is now Tetris ready. The 4 rows ready for business. Dropping that long bar on the right side. Now we have a double long bar dependency. I like this, just kind of filling it in. Probably want to get rid of the problem before it snowballs. Yokino with a pretty good lead though. It is still early days here. So there's a lot of scoring potential in these later levels. It's usually the story or how you want to like approach score attack. Oftentimes you are going to misdrop, especially if you're pushing yourself in terms of like scoring often or making some mistakes. because of the pressure of your opponent doing well, if that makes sense. So, but always just factor how much runway you have. So we still have potentially another like 200 lines, or let's see, yeah, 200 lines if these players are really crushing it, right? And that's a lot of score to be had, and a lot of mistakes from your opponent to be had. So comebacks happen in this mode pretty often. Of course, getting a strong start is always so nice in a score attack mode, but I always say this, and you know, I'm pretty competent at Tetris, excuse me, but I make a lot of mistakes still to this day. Your brain is going to misfire, and you will misdrop and maybe break that back-to-back chain for a little bit, and your opponent will get caught up, not your teammate. So we'll see if maybe Pac-Man will get that adrenaline kick, get locked in. Maybe Nokino's cat will jump on the keyboard. You never know. Never know. Ooh, nice from Pac-Man there. I believe for that long bar rotation, you have to left rotate. I don't know if it was necessary in that case, but either way, I clutched it out there. So neither player necessarily, well, I say that, Nokino does get Tetris ready here. Does kind of create some cheese on the board, though. Center well is very tricky in score attack without a lot of like predetermined movement to get left and right quickly, which fades away once you get to level 20 and the Tetramino practically has instant gravity, right? If I focus just on getting Tetrises, will that hurt me in the long run? No, I think that's a good place to start. I mean, it's all a matter of perspective, right? I think that's generally where people start, and that's a good way to build fundamentals and just good stacking habits, is just going for Tetrises. And then once you become comfortable there, you can start upping your game, learning different patterns, stacking strategies when it comes to like T-spins. With that being said, yes, T-spins are the best way to score in score attack. With it being only 2 lines versus 4 of a Tetris, that means you have more lines or more scoring opportunities if you're saying if you get pure T-spins versus pure Tetrises. You can't get pure T-spins, you do have to clear Tetrises regardless, but to be the best at score attack, you need to get as many T-spins as possible. That being said, to start out with Tetrises, when you could get that pure back-to-back Tetris chain, that carries you quite far in terms of like climbing the ladder, getting a lot of wins and stuff like that, until you run into some of our godly players that may be here in our chat. Then you have to mix in the T-spins for sure. Yeah, there are T-spin triple loops for sure. If you could throw in a few PCs, that's a good point. I would love to see that. Thinking like Rated F for Fun does a great job of that. I believe our marathon world record holder. Doing like T-spin perfect clear loops. I don't know if they still are the world record holder. They were at least at a point. Broke the 2 million threshold on Tetris Effect, which is quite impressive. Okay, I heard a change in the music and a little ding. That means we made it past level 20. So no Kino with quite the lead here. But they are also in the future. Pac-Man has 30 lines to work with before being at the same line count as no Kino. No pressure to Pac-Man, but to catch up here, it would have to be a lot of Tetrises and or T-spins. But we're vibing here. We're just having fun. If it ever becomes an insurmountable lead, I usually stay in the game anyway, because I'm like, all right, well, let's just see how far I can make it on level 29. Or like what level I can make it to. How many lines can I clear? There's always that aspect of it. I think line clear delay decreases from 20 to 225. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody that's more pro. But yeah, lock delay is much more notable at 25. Me when the G is 20. I won't misread that. Welcome in, Trash Man. A very strong Luminous Arise player. I love seeing the cross-pollination between these two games. I love Luminous and Tetris players. We'll have to do some like crossover events in the future. All right, so no Kino is going to top out there at level 26, the whopping 872k. Pac-Man is going to have to put on the God Player hat. Go grab the God Player hat out of your closet, Pac-Man, if you want to get caught up. I know you have one. All right, going to top out at 419, level 23. GG's. Pac-Man with the A rank, just no Kino bringing the heat. Hitting that SS rank. ASS. Okay. Who is up next? I believe we have Nathan and Awabi. Enhanced moderator Wabi and Nathan head of the lobby. Ooh, Mike almost fell off there. ASS. You know what that spells? That spells good game. GG, guys. Okay. So, yep, Nathan and Wabi, when you're ready. The lobby is open, ready for you to hop in here. I'm lonely in the spectator slot. What does GG stand for? We won't go there, Psydark. Yeah, full moon tomorrow. We have our connected versus ranked matchmaking opening up. For those who missed the beginning of the stream, got the focus weekend ritual tomorrow. So combo, all clear, and target modes contribute to the weekend goal on your platform. I don't know if that's... Is it technically possible to get to level 40? It's got to be like... Because I think at some point it almost like insta-locks in the middle. You'd have to have a center well, right? Maybe with a task. I'd be interested to see that kind of thing. All right, looks like Wabi's in here. Just looking for you, Nathan. Are you ready? There we go. That might be what it is. So I guess if you were tapping, maybe you could get a little farther. Tapping at frame, one frame taps. Okay. When you two are ready, I'm ready. Oh, I think that might do some custom. Oh, match settings. Okay, where are the match settings? Let me see. Okay. Let's do this as a group here so everyone knows what we're about to witness. So the request was heading down to our scoring template. We're going to turn on... Oh, first let's turn on Classic Randomizer. So it's going to match the old school randomizer, pretty much pure random. Basically random in parentheses as mentioned. Do classic scoring template. I think this is just 1-to-1, right? 50, 50. Yeah, okay. Yep, and that's it. I think that's it. So when you guys are ready, I'm ready. Good luck, have fun. So yeah, with the classic randomizer, it can be a little harder, especially to play score attack at a high level, because it's harder to predict what tetraminos are coming up next. Generally, you have what's called the 7 bag, which means, well, within the first 7 tetraminos of a game, you're bound to get one of each tetramino. Then following that, you're bound to get generally one tetramino of a certain type every 2 bags, I guess. So about every 13, 14 tetraminos. Nathan on the left here. Tetris ready. See if Wabi has returned to play in our showcases as of the last few weeks here. Maybe having to de-rust a little bit, so we'll see if Wabi can scrape together some Tetrises here. Playing Tetris is like riding a bike, though, so I'm sure Wabi will be just fine. Small combo there for Nathan. So we also had the classic scoring, which means the scoring is going to match classic score attack, if that makes sense. So really you just want to go for Tetrises. Singles are worth 50% of what they usually are. Doubles are worth 50%. Triples 75%. Tetrises 150%. So the name of the game is Tetris here. This is Tetris Attack. Tetris for Nathan. Lobby set up for Tetrises. And yeah, just maintaining that Tetris well is going to be a little trickier with just the, or with the classic randomizer, right? So think of it as classic score attack with, I guess, friendlier control and allowing you to kind of skim your blocks along the, kind of like skate your blocks against other Tetraminos before it locks in. Playing Luminous is like riding a unicycle. Trying to see how that's an apt comparison. Explain yourself, Trash Man. I wouldn't know because I can't ride a unicycle, so I can't make that analogy. Done a lot of bike riding, not a lot of unicycle riding. Can anyone that is able to ride a unicycle confirm or deny this case? Yeah, this is a cool room setting. I agree, Annie. I feel like usually we go too crazy with it. This is like interesting to have literally the classic Tetris rule set, but with modern controls. Ooh. So a few errors from Nathan. Nathan does have a bit of a lead there. So even with a few missed drops, Nathan should be fairly comfortable. But Wabi is keeping it nice and clean here. Still on that right well Tetris. Also, Wabi's playing in the past. So I think Wabi actually has an efficiency lead right now. Kind of taking their time and really getting these back-to-back Tetrises. Okay, so Toad can compare that the unicycle versus bicycle comparison of Luminous and Tetris. You have been vindicated, Trash Man. So Nathan is leveling up here, already on level 15. Throwing a lot of speed at it. That is one thing to note. There is a strategy that could be a little hard to pull off, but when you top out in score attack, it does force a 2-minute timer. So if you are fast enough and want to leverage your speed, you can minimize the runway following your top out for the opponent to get caught up. What I mean by runway is if they have 100 lines to get caught up, but only 2 minutes and can't really clear 100 lines within those 2 minutes, they're not going to be able to maximize all the score that they could have had if they were able to clear 100 lines. All right, touch for Nathan. I think Nathan is trying to force the speed because we're seeing a lot of double single clears instead of Tetrises. But Wabi's efficiency has been really nice here. Nice Tetris there for Nathan. But yeah, we'll see. These later level Tetrises are going to be worth quite a bit too. So if Nathan can secure some Tetrises on these later levels, and maybe Wabi, I mean, we already see Wabi is playing a little slower, might be less comfortable on these higher levels. Nathan might be able to actually accrue more of that, what we're calling the efficiency lead. The amount of score per line cleared. I believe up next we have Aquamarine, or no, I'm sorry, we have Coffee and Tetris versus Got You Sauce on deck. Let's be ready to play. Should be a good matchup. Okay, Nathan approaching that level 25 where the speed at which the Tetramino locks in to the matrix is amplified. So it could be pretty hard to survive going past 25. And it really is amplified at 29. It's like a Suedo end game / kill screen phase. Kill screen phase. Because it's not going to be instant. You can play on level 29 and 30. But the higher you go, it's going to get to the point where you can't really keep playing. So Nathan, not really having an issue surviving on these later levels. 28, you really feel 28, so we'll see how the stacking continues there. Teaspoons aren't worth anything, unfortunately. Because we are playing on that classic rule set. Ooh, looking like 28 will be the final level for Nathan with a huge lead here. And it might be enough speed to leverage pressure here on Wabi. But if Wabi can get Tetrises, they are worth 150% in this classic rule set, so you can score quickly. It's just hard to do so because of these higher levels. Yeah, not much scoring yet from Wabi. I feel like you have to kind of Tetris or nothing if you want a chance to win here. Well, actually we're freeing up the right well here. There we go. That's a big, that's like near 50k. I'm sorry. It wasn't near 50k. It's about 25k, close to 25k per Tetris. Using T-spin just for practically filling up the board for Tetris there. Valiant effort on this final stretch, but I don't think we'll be able to clear that 200k gap there. So yeah, Nathan showing that you can leverage speed and score attack here. It is a cool strat. Alrighty. GG's. Good, I'd be curious on this efficiency, though. Yeah, pretty close. So, Nathan did actually pull a little bit ahead, I think, in the final 10 levels or so there. Just comfortable playing, scoring those Tetrises on high gravity. So, GG's. Well played, you two. Next up, we have Coffee and Tetris and Got You Sauce. Make your way to the lobby. GG. That's okay, yeah. You've also been away from the game for a little bit, Wabi. Or so I think. Oh, let me fix some match settings before I forget. Alright. So we got You Sauce and Coffee and Tetris. And they are in here. They're ready to play. I'm ready. Good luck. Have fun, you two. So Coffee and Tetris is Morg here on the left, and then we have Got Yo Sauce 223 on the right. Good luck, have fun. Going with a level 13 start, kind of a different choice. I love the avatar on the left. It's throwing these little cannons at Gaiusas's board with every Tetris. From the trebuchet slash catapult. And yeah, Gaiusas rocking the horse. To obtain the horse, you need 100 wins in ranked score attack. Okay, so pretty even start here. Morg generally, as seen on previous showcases, has really good fundamental stacking in terms of like hitting these back-to-back Tetris chains. Gaiusas has improved quite a bit since their initial community showcase appearance. Playing a lot of Luminous with us as well. I think has been mixing in more T-spins as we see here. So T-spins can be a great way to win a score attack. I like Morg stacking here. Kind of like what I was saying earlier. When you have that higher center, you can kind of skate that Tetramino to the left or the right side. So with good fundamentals like that, you don't even need to be the fastest player in the world. Because you can just kind of set yourself up for success to continually hit these back-to-back chains by creating that kind of like slope from the left to right side so that your Tetraminos can easily for one slide across either side of the board, and two, when you stack with like a slope like setup, you tend to kind of get rid of piece dependencies. Now it's becoming less. Now we have more of a slope, so we can kind of fill in that left easily. But when it becomes more jagged and not necessarily like higher on either the left or the center, it can be really hard to get your Tetramino where you want it to get. And you're going to have like more dependencies, which means, for example, if you have a gap that can only be filled by a T piece or only can be filled by a long bar without creating any holes when you're stacking upward. Big Tetris for Morg. So this is looking like it's going to be a good matchup. A little bit of a dynamic here with Gaiusas having maybe a little more T-spin potential. And then you have Morg, who's just hitting the back-to-back Tetrises very consistently. Despite being maybe less efficient in score than a T-spin, no mistakes are being made. So we're pretty much neck and neck here. Been trying to learn how to survive level 30 again. Yeah, at some point it's going to just come with practice, right? Even if you have the know-how, the execution can be quite tricky when it comes to those later levels. To the point where you just probably have to de-rust a little bit, right? there is like knowledge that comes with it too, just having really good Tetramino placement, stuff like that. But kind of setting yourself up for success. Because Annie, you still play a lot of Tetris Grandmaster? I know you were playing the new TGM4. Just a lot of high gravity gameplay as well. Okay, we're getting into some higher gravity. So when it comes to the online ranked matchmaking, when you get to a certain tier, the highest level you can pick, or you get to a point where you could only pick from level 15 to 20. A lot of players do pick 20 first. I generally like to pick 15 first, just have that extra wiggle room for getting left and right, a little less pressure. Yeah, it could be quite tricky to maintain the stack of your choice when it comes to the high gravity for any player, really. And we are probably going to see some pattern stacks later with some of these high-level players that utilize certain patterns that adapt to this high gravity. So ST stacking, which we've seen in many score attack tournaments here in the past. Okay, so Got Your Sauce has about a 56k lead, only 6 lines ahead, so still pretty close. Finds this T-spin 0, I suppose. There we go, some back-to-back Tetrises for Coffee and Tetris on the left side. But Got Your Sauce is mixing in these T-spin doubles over time. I feel like we are seeing more single and double line clears than Got Your Sauce probably wants to have. And Morg is slowly tying back up the score here. Nice T-spin single for Got Your Sauce. Kind of a tricky board to work with here. Okay, going to set up T-spin single there. Another T-spin single back to back. That's actually a pretty good score. It's again pushing the lead. The thing about back-to-back T-spins is you're getting a back-to-back bonus more often too. And I think that's really where a lot of the score lies, is the back-to-back bonus if you get the T-spin chain. Got Your Sauce has a little bit of a mess on their board. They are also in the... Okay, they're pretty much tied on line count. They're kind of trading leads. It's going to come down to the wire here, it looks like. We'll see which player has better execution in 25 plus, because 25, the Tetraminos are going to lock in sooner here, and that is a skill set to be able to have to deal with that, right? So we'll see who has the chops here. Guy Sauce on 25, just trying to survive here. At this point, yeah, Guy Sauce is behind the score and wants to survive, so I think survival takes priority because you can't score if you can't survive. And Morg was able to get some extra Tetrises on top of all that and is going to take the lead. GG. But yeah, play it out, see what level Morg can get to here. Gonna top out. Sportsmanship top out, love it. Well played. I think that was our closest match so far today. Kind of came down to the wire there. All right, so up next we have, who do we have up next? Aquamarine and Cool Matt. So we are getting a little low on time here, but we'll extend it. We'll be sure to get these 4 matches that are already in queue. So I think Trashman, Annie, and Ferox, you might get left out here. Sorry. But yeah, we'll try to get you in on a future showcase here. Trashman did have the chance to kick my butt on a few recent Luminous showcases too. So got the limelight for sure. Okay. So we got Matt just looking for Aquamarine, who is a, speaking of Luminous players, Aquamarine is a total menace in Luminous Arise. I don't know if I have watched them play a whole lot of Tetris, so this should be cool. Next week is Arise, yeah. Luminous player, I fear. Yeah, we'll see. I feel like if you're really good at one of the games, generally you can apply some skills in the way you approach the game to the other puzzle game. So let's see what Aquamarine has in store here. In store and in score. Okay. Matt is here on the left, Izumi on the right. Izumi is also Aquamarine on our Discord. Good luck, have fun. 14 start. Love it. Okay, Matt with a little bit of a mishaps. Finds a little cheeky T-spin there. Only, I don't think there was really much of any score on that. T-spin mini. So Matt doing more single and double clears, mixing in some minor T-spin bonuses, playing slightly faster. But yeah, Izumi, Aquamarine takes the lead on the right side here. Ooh. I think a mild indecision there from Matt on the left side. But there could be a cool solve here. I think Matt sees the T-spin option. But Izumi keeping it nice and simple here. with the Tetrises and maintaining a lead because of it. Keeping it simple is always an excellent approach. Nice tuck with the L Tetramino there. Matt is throwing some speed at it that can maybe amplify some score going into the later levels. Just got to make sure we get some more Tetrises and T-spins. We got a little mini T-spin. Ready for a Tetris. And there we go, Tetris for Matt. And another Tetris for Matt. There we go. Some nice back-to-back scoring. Meanwhile, Izumi finds herself in a center well, able to nab that Tetris. Can get a little hairy when you're running a center well on high gravity, but 14 is just at the cutoff where you can probably pull off getting movement to the right and left pretty quickly. Nice T-spin into a Tetris for Izumi to get the lead back there. Especially considering they're 30 lines behind, so really throwing in good efficiency here to keep that lead. Nice stack from Matt. You can kind of see that slope on the right side, allowing you to get any piece to the right and or kind of maneuver any Tetramino, even through high gravity, minimizing misdrops. Should help them get a little bit of much needed score here. Izumi's had this this row at the bottom for a while now, and patience is the right way to approach that. For example, here's a great example. Yeah, getting that Tetris, and then maybe there's an option to, yeah, if you prop the Z piece there, now we have a little T-spin double to get back into that right well. Very nice. That was so clean. Okay. So this is a pretty close game despite the score lead, just because of the line differential. 155 lines of score versus 102 lines of score. So Izumi still has 50 lines to work with here to get caught up. And if all those are Tetrises and T-spins, well, I think Izumi might be in the lead. But that's if Izumi can execute, especially as these levels increase here. So Matt's already at level 23. We're going to start to get into these late levels here. It's looking like Matt should be comfortable playing on them, but we'll see. That lock delay really does add up when you get to post 25 here. Izumi maintaining that back-to-back Tetris chain, using that hold Q, keep the board nice and low. We have a double Tetris setup for Matt. Nice combo. I feel like Matt might be able to... I'll be curious to see if Aquamarine can manage these later levels. But playing slower isn't always indicative of your ability to play at high gravity. Some players just like to kind of take their time, think through things, play more efficient. So we'll see if Izumi has the chops when kind of forced to play quicker. That being said, this 139k lead might not be enough, but hey, we got to 242 lines for Matt, hitting that level 29. Very nice. It's wonderful. And breaking 1 mil. First 1 mil of the day. Izumi's still getting these Tetrises. I'll be curious to see if Izumi can, yeah, just playing this high gravity, and feel free to mull in and play it out a little bit. And like I mentioned, they are upping the speed now. I think some players, you'll see this a lot on Score Attack, will really just take their time, really think through their upcoming Tetramino, stuff like that. All right, Izumi does take the W. Takes the win, GG. I'm gonna play it, oh, gonna top out there, okay. Yeah, it was more of a efficiency game there. 5,500 versus 4,200 for Matt. Well played. GG. So up next we have Toad and Creative Name. If you're still available, Creative Name. Hop on in here. Getting into some of the big guns here. I know Creative Name can throw down and a Score Attack, and Toad can throw down in pretty much any Tetris mode, I feel like. Closing stream? Alright, see you in a bit. You must find your Zen. Your Zen is without a man talking into your ear about block. Oh, we had some Pac-Man and Ferox games. Interesting. Yeah, I think Pac-Man is playing some games on the side if anyone else wants to hop in that Pac-Man lobby. If you're looking for some extra games while you're watching or hanging out. All fun and games until the person who is first tops out, yeah. Alright, looks like both players are here. I'm ready when you are. Good luck, have fun. Seeing a lot of horse avatars tonight. Because it's the year of the horse, right? So I'll celebrate Year of the Horse and get 100 ranked wins in Score Attack, everybody. It's a sign. Okay, here we are. Now we're into the ST stacking territory. We've made it. We have progressed throughout the night to get here. So yeah, coined as ST stacking, I guess, because, well, first off, the green Tetramino is the S piece and the red Tetramino is the Z piece. Not to add any layers of confusion, as I add the layer of confusion. But yeah, if you prop one of the squiggly Tetraminos to either side, green Tetramino versus left side, and the red Z Tetramino versus the right side, you can prop it up to form a T-piece formation. And in doing so, you can kind of build around it, and with each prop of the S or Z Tetramino, you can kind of create these notches with a pattern stack in the center. So you create a gap every, so you create a gap, have 2 rows, create a gap, have 2 rows. So 1 row of a gap, 2 rows of non-gap, 1 row of a gap, 2 rows of non-gap. Really high in the center. And it's good to keep that part high just because you want to be able to send any Tetramino to the left or right side. But really, when you get the hang of this, it's not all that... It is hard if it's like your first time doing what I like to call pattern stacking. But it's a pretty good intro pattern stack to practice. Because you could pretty much keep all of your Tetraminos to certain areas and kind of get a muscle memory for knowing where to send them. With that being said, there are a lot of caveats and like little things, especially the opener can be tricky. This is what's called the reset. So eventually after, I can't remember how many bags or Tetraminos, but after a while you have to reset and send 2 T Tetraminos to the left side, for example, right? To maintain that proper pattern stacking method. You can kind of freestyle it a little bit if you get out of if you don't reset properly and stuff like that. But anyways, I saw Toad did start with the T-spin double ST stacking, but managed to mix in a little T-spin triple tower there. Maybe to kind of like bring the board down and get caught up. Still finding that efficiency elsewhere. Tetris.com, try hard. Oh, that's right. Creative Name does play Tetris.com a lot, don't they? And yeah, this would be a good strategy for Tetris.com. That's funny. Yeah, Creative Name should be a good player to watch. So we saw a mix-up in the stack there. The notch came a little sooner, but yes, you can now I guess we're technically into what's called LST stacking. We got back into ST. You could go into LST from there, but I think it would be a little tricky with the high gravity. Very tricky, I might add. ST, that's one thing about the ST stack, is it's very manageable in high gravity, which is why we see it so often in high-level score attack. There are some other options, but they're very hard to pull off and less consistent. So Creative Name doing an excellent job. Creative Name has barely broken their stack comparatively to Toad here. I think Creative Name has done quite well in previous score attack tournaments, I want to say. Gotten pretty far. I've always seen Creative Name compete at the highest level, at the least. Whether it's just chill in our community showcase. So Toad, level 29. Let's see if they can keep going. One line there on level 29 in that 1.28 mil. Still a great game. The best game, other game of the night. Just up against a powerhouse here. So we'll see if Creative Name can get a 2 mil here. I think that's a given with that T-spin. What was this, a 15 start or 20 start? Oh, going to top out there. All right, GG's. Big efficiency there with that 14.48 mil. That's cream of the crop right there. Nicely played. And nice seeing you back as well, Toad. Hope you make it out to some future showcases. Okay. Okay, who is up next? We've got 2 more games. We have Noriko versus Air 404. And then we have Sidearc versus Chompy. You ready to play? We're going a little later for you. Does Creative also do battle mode? It's a good question. I think Creative is more into the score attack. I would assume they do a little bit of the zone battle, but that's probably better. Creative answers that. Yeah. I feel like everyone dabbles in all the modes, right? But tend to have like their favorites. And I think Creative really leans into the like modern score-based kind of modes in Tetris. Looks like Air 404 is in here, so we're just looking for Noriko. Oh, Mr. FAQ, if you're here in the chat, Noriko, I believe. I'm not sure if they're still around. We could always have someone fill in for Noriko so that Air can play a match. Air, if you want to play against Ferox, if Noriko is no longer here. We'll give him a minute, otherwise we can get somebody else to hop in. How about you, Flower Crown Pikachu? What do you think of the Pokemon news today? Have you played in our showcases before? Yeah, before we sign off here, I know we keep getting people appearing in and out of certain points of the stream, but these are always open to players of any skill level. Don't be too intimidated if you want to hop in. We do these bi-weekly. Next week, or 2 weeks from now, is going to be Classic Score Attack. We're going to do some teams following that, and then zone battle. It's kind of the rotation. Oh, you don't even play Tetris? Okay. Well, hey. Give it a consideration here, as I do my due diligence. Representing Enhance here. Tetris can be... I think for most players, it's just a chill out game, right? Most players just kind of play journey mode. Or vibe out at their own pace, figure things out on their own. But of course, I love this community aspect too, and all the multiplayer that's going on. And I will say, I play in all sorts of gaming communities. I play StarCraft. I played in MMO games. I've played in MOBAs, wonderful MOBAs. Everyone loves MOBA communities, right? But the Tetris community is very welcoming. So definitely. And that goes for anybody out there. Don't be too intimidated. Even when you're watching these high-level players play, they all start somewhere. And part of the reason a lot of us get sucked in is just from the welcoming community. So, okay. I don't think... oh, they're beating up now. Okay, perfect. Perfect timing. It can be hard to handle loss. Got it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with watching. I think that goes for a lot of Tetris players in particular. Because a lot of people like to just vibe out, not necessarily compete in the world of Tetris, right? All right, looks like Air and Mr. FAQ are up and at it. Let's check it out. Okay, we got some speed being thrown at it from Air here. Oh, Air is going for LST for a little bit, as long as they can maintain it. So with LST, you kind of alternate the L and the S block against the left here. On the right, if you mirror it, it would be the J tetramino and the Z tetramino. And then on the opposing side of the well, oh, looks like we're okay. Yeah, it can be pretty hard to maintain LST for a long period of time, but it is more efficient than the ST stacking if you can mix it in. And especially at a high level, getting even just like the littlest score advantage you can could be pivotal. Then on the right, yeah, we have Mr. FAQ over here with a clean ST stack to kick things off here on our wonderful colorblind blocks, which kind of look like the old Game Boy Tetramino designs. But yeah, Mr. FAQ can throw down in pretty much any Tetris game, I feel like. So Air's throwing some speed at it. It's quite impressive. I'm loving the mixing of this LST as well. It's a very clean transition. It's just much easier said than done to be able to do that kind of thing, especially at the speed this is being executed. Looks like Mr. FAQ did have a little bit of a break. It's trying to scrounge up something here. Still has a high center, so should be able to circumnavigate this a little bit. But this was a level 20 start, and at the speed Air is moving, it might add some pressure. It's kind of interesting. It can be kind of hard to create a speed pressure on the level 20 start because there's less lines to be had. But Air is really schmoving on top of the efficiency too. And Mr. FAQ is by no means playing badly here. They did break their ST once, maybe once or twice. So I don't think they're honestly too behind in terms of efficiency, but as I say that, Air's barely made any mistakes, and because they are mixing in what's called the LST stack I keep mentioning, where it saves you like a little bit of efficiency because your notches, well, this is how I see it, right? You're getting more T-spins and less line clears because you can T-spin a little bit sooner without LST over time. It's probably like 5 out of 6 efficiency is how I see it in my brain right now. I'm sure some players, and also you're getting more back-to-back bonus, so I'm not sure what the exact number would be. But look at the speed too. It's see if we can get a level 30. 185 lines at 2.176 mil. Very nice. Now, Mr. FAQ can definitely get to level 29 here. It's throwing a little extra speed at it. So if Mr. FAQ has like a super efficient run here, I don't think they'd be too far off. That score will dissipate quite quickly when it's in the right hands, right? So, especially on this level 20 start, like I mentioned, Mr. FAQ can get caught up in terms of speed. Now it really is an efficiency game, and I think Air had an excellent efficiency game, so I'm kind of curious how this will wind up. Mr. FAQ can play pretty well into the later levels, and I feel like that's going to be necessary here. It's actually really close. This is winnable for sure. Only 100k. That's so Mr. FAQ is. Oh, there's a little bit of a hiccup, but I think just a T-spin will do it. So despite that speed and prowess we saw from Air, I think Mr. FQ's got it there. GG. Nicely played. I think in the end, there probably were a few more mistakes than I realized, just because of the speed at which Air was playing, which was quite impressive. Even with the LST mixed in, there's probably some back-to-back breakage. And we got the level 30. All right. 31? 31? Just 5 lines. Come on, just 5 lines. It's not that far. All right, GG. Nicely played. That was a very clean game from both players. Well, Air, not up to Air's standards, but for me, it was a clean game. It's above my standards, so nicely played, you two. Okay. So one more game tonight. We have Side Arc versus Chompy, if you two are around and ready to play. The penultimate match here. Oh, both are here in the chat. Great. Chompy and Side Arc are going to send me off into my weekend with the score attack match. Yeah, you got to it can be tough. I wouldn't compare. Generally, for anyone watching out there, try not to compare yourself to these players. We escalated. We were climbing that ladder. I guess. Yeah, it's going to be hard to top that Side Arc and Chompy, but we're just chilling. We're having fun. The only prize here is a smile. You're gonna make me smile. Shen smile. We're all at our own stage of our Tetris skill journey. Yeah, it's a never-ending journey either, in my experience. Also, to whoever was asking about LC efficiency, okay. I think it was kind of me in a way. Let me see. Yeah, that's where I was getting the 5 to 6 number. Like, I guess 5 to 7, like you mentioned here. So, me and Ferox a little bit on the same page there. I just don't know the exact numbers. That's my intuition. Oh, looks like they're hopping into it. I think Air Mr. FAQ is probably going to be one of our better matches tonight. But we'll see. No pressure, Side Arc. I know I'm hyping them up. I'm half joking here because those are two of the two previous matches had some amazing players. But okay, when you two are ready, we have floating triangle avatar versus floating Grandmaster avatar. Who wins, Triangle or Grandmaster? There's only one way to find out, and that's through a Tetramino battle and score attack. As a Tetris player, I can't respect triangles, unfortunately. Everyone is staring at this triangle avatar in disgust right now. Messes with the feng shui of everything going on here in our background. Very out of place. It's missing an angle. Or I guess a right angle. No right angles involved. Okay, so what's going on here? We got Chompy on the right. And we have Side Arc on the left. Both players kind of have a messy start there, but keeps it nice and even, I suppose. I think Chompy's mixing in some T-spin doubles. Yeah, Chompy is pretty fast. But as we just saw, it's not about speed. I always recommend taking your time. Of course, there can be instances where it is about speed, kind of like Nathan showed us earlier. But if you want to take advantage of that 2-minute timer. But really, score attack is just about getting the most efficient line clears and trying to survive so you can score more, right? Survival and scoring. While it is about speed, it's also about maintaining your mind for decisions. That is true, yeah. There's sometimes the, how do I put it? You have like, you're a pilot, but also trying to strategize simultaneously, right? And I feel like most players that play this game on a regular basis, have studied the game, students of the game, can eventually find that autopilot to some extent. So they can think more about the macro decisions that come with the game, the strategy. And even we saw it tonight, like players that do have the speed chops will slow down their pilot brain for a little bit just to ensure that they're meeting the max efficiency, right? Like we saw from Mr. FAQ there, who can play much faster. I think Mr. FAQ has one of the fastest sprints in Tetris Effect connected. So, yeah, it can be difficult to get your skill level to a point for both of those things in mind, your mechanics and your strategy, right? But when you do, it's a beautiful thing. It's nothing like finding that flow state in Tetris. And or, I know we have some Luminous players in here. There's kind of a similar feeling with Luminous. I feel like that's why we all get so hooked on it. Chompy is high up on the board. I think you can see a skeleton of early ST stacking gone wrong. But doing a great job still finding efficiency higher up here. Yeah, Chompy is also a very good player. Sidearc is no slouch either. Just we're kind of ending the stream here with our big guns. And yeah, we'll see how these later levels pan out. That is one thing. Yeah, creative name saying in the chat. ST has a lot of interesting stuff going on, in my opinion. It's just not as easy to grasp unless you ST stack yourself. And it can be a bit frustrating when you are losing to ST stacking and don't know how to do it. But I, like creative name is saying, I highly recommend trying it, because when it does click, it's so satisfying in a different way, right? And it's also just a good precursor to learning other like pattern stacking type of things within Tetris. When you learn it once, you can kind of take some of that feeling and how you learned how to pattern stack into other patterns and so on and so forth. When you learn some concepts in Tetris, it tends to kind of all click and come together, and you added that breadth of knowledge. I feel like what I just said, you can probably insert any hobby or skill for Tetris, but generally, yeah, practice and I guess Tetris in particular, that pattern recognition, trying to understand the pattern stacks and stuff. So Chompy level 25, Sidearc doing pretty good on these later levels here. Seems like they're booted up and online, getting these back-to-back Tetrises. Oh, that is the same link. Okay, we have a command here in the chat. I didn't want a double redundant link. But yeah, definitely check that out if you're looking to learn it. It could be a lot of fun. Once you kind of get over the hump when it comes to learning these new strategies, it's just so satisfying to execute it just regularly. Like almost, you don't really have to think about it when these pattern recognition is there for you. You can autopilot, like I was saying earlier, and being able to do that in this game and finding that flow state is so satisfying. Oh, both players with a simul top out. Double SS, GG's. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for playing in tonight's showcases and for finishing up. It's tough to follow those games, Sidearc and Chompy, but appreciate you throwing down in those high levels. Okay, well, I think we can call it there. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's community showcase. We got more in store in the future. In 2 weeks, we're going to be playing Classic Score Attack. So try to unwind, go back in time a little bit, play some Classic Score Attack in effect modes if you want to practice, and or I know there's some not niche, but there's still a lot of players that play Classic Score Attack ranked and stuff on a regular basis. Kind of their own bubble. That's a better word. Their bubble. There's a like Classic Score Attack bubble because it's so different from like Zone Battle, right? Or even Score Attack. But yeah, so we'll see you guys in a few weeks for Classic Score Attack. We'll be playing some Luminous here same time next week, if none of you made the jump yet. My feelings with that game, if you like Tetris, you probably are gonna like Luminous for the same reasons, right? Albeit it's a different type of flow state. It is a flow state you find in that game too. And a vibe, different vibe. I think Tetris Effect is more of the Zen journey. With Connected side, I think Connected was high energy. And then Luminous is more of a vibe and or higher energy other side of the coin for the journey mode. But anyways, everyone enjoy your weekend. Go play some video games, hang out with friends and fam, do whatever you like to do on the weekend. Hang out with us in the Discord at discord.gg/enhance. If you're looking to play some Tetris alongside us tomorrow, there's usually people hanging out playing for the full moon event. But yeah, we'll see you in a few weeks, and everyone enjoy your weekend. Bye bye all.